So this right here is going to be the image of the season. This is going to be the WNBA image of the season, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is going to be what everybody's talking about. This is going to be the main WNBA image of this season. I think when it's all said and done, one of the main WNBA images from the history of the league. Because let's be very real. There's a million people watching this game. There are, this would have been a record beforehand. If you agree, this is crazy. Subscribe. We are so close to 60K. But I have to also talk about this. Before the game, Nate Tibbetts. So Nate Tibbetts is obviously the coach of the Phoenix Mercury. And in his pre-game press conference, or actually in his post-game press conference on Monday night, this is what he said.
I'm sure they'll remember it, and I know we'll remember it too.
Talking about the game, being I'm sure they'll remember it, but we'll remember this game too. And this is after the scuffle. This was his talk on the scuffle. And I'm not saying that he's out here saying that Alyssa Thomas should have jumped on Caitlin Clark, threw a knee at Caitlin Clark's groin, then punched her in the throat, and then got up, looked back, and attempted to curb stomp her. There is 4 hostile acts. 3, you can argue the jumping on her wasn't a hostile act. 3 that were flagrant, that were hostile acts. 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 hostile acts. In a row. 3 back to back to back. And I don't think Nate Tibbetts, as a coach, is out here trying to do that. But he very much implied, if you listen to what he said, something was going to pop off. Something's going to pop off. This is the most oh yeah, I'm going to pretend that I'm not seeing this. And you got DeWanna Bonner, the knee to the head as well. By the way, DeWanna Bonner, it did not look like. I would love to say DeWanna Bonner attempted to knee her in the head because that would get me 100,000 views probably. By the looks of things, DeWanna Bonner didn't. So there's no point. This picture looks bad. But this kind of looks like something that this does not look like that DeWanna Bonner did. I don't think DeWanna Bonner did it intentionally. Again, I wish I could say it, because for the sake of the narrative and everything, the narrative would be so much better if it turns out that it was blatantly intentional from DeWanna as well as Alyssa Thomas, because we all know Alyssa Thomas is a dirty player. I don't think anyone's out here accusing DeWanna Bonner of being a dirty player. Because look, I don't, as much as I hate DeWanna, I don't like DeWanna Bonner. I think we can be clear here that I think it is a bit, it would be reckless to call DeWanna Bonner a dirty player, because we don't have any proof of that. That being said, this is still a horrible situation. This is a horrible situation all around for everybody involved. And when you've got the coach coming out there and essentially, I'm going to say, not implying, but you could argue, you can look back on this. At the time, nothing was said, but you can look back on this right now and say, Nate Tibbetts hinted this was going to happen. Nate Tibbetts hinted that, this whole situation was going to happen. And I'm yeah, I can't argue really otherwise. And it's just one of those things now where everything is going to be scrutinized. Everything is going to be brought under the microscope. Did Nate Tibbetts say something that sounded like nothing at the time that was foreshadowing this? I don't know. I really don't know. Is he the mastermind behind a team that just wants to go out and cheap shot people? I hope not. But that being said, when you come out and say, about a brawl, effectively, and you come out and basically say, I know they'll remember it, but we'll remember it too. And your star player then goes out and commits not one, not two, not three, not four. Well, four. 4 acts of, lack of a better word, say it, 4 acts of violence against a player. Back to back to back to back. After, we cannot forget again, Alyssa Thomas attempted to elbow Caitlin Clark a game ago. Like that, that also is something that matters. That it's not like Alyssa Thomas didn't go after Caitlin Clark the last game. And again, you have seen even some of the anti-Caitlin Clark people, even nobody, there is not one person in the world that believes what Alyssa Thomas did was accidental, by the way. There is not one person. Even the Caitlin Clark haters that are celebrating Alyssa Thomas still fully believe this is intentional. They believe the elbow is intentional. There's not one person. We're not writing this off as accidental because everybody knows this wasn't accidental. There is not one person on planet Earth that does not think this was targeted. There is no way. There is no way in hell that this isn't targeted. And that if this was any other player other than Caitlin Clark, and maybe Maisha Hines-Allen, that she doesn't go for it. And that's why I call Alyssa Thomas a bully. Because I'm like, actually, because when Maisha Hines-Allen stands up to her, she'll hit her and run away. But when it's Caitlin Clark, she'll go after her. She'll go after Caitlin Clark. She'll go after certain people. And when it's other people, it's like, oh yeah, no. No, it really doesn't matter. When it's some people, it's like, oh yeah, you know what? I'll make a business decision to not go after them. I'll make the business decision to not go after this person because, they might be stronger, and it's bully shit. It's bully shit. I hate that. I hate that. Like, even as a player, I fucking hated that. Like, there are some guys that, like, I'm not saying that they're not tough, but it's like, I used to fucking hate it. Like, especially when I was coaching. When I've been coaching in certain leagues, there are guys that I'm like, they're wind-up merchants. They'll go after people they know are easy targets. But, like, it's in a league now where there's not that many tough people, so it's like they'll never go after certain people. And I'm like, man, this is the type of shit where it's like, growing up, I'm like, if someone ever tried to punk one of my fucking, because I was a big kid growing up, my smaller teammates, it's your job to fucking make sure that they're at you. That's your job, like as one of the bigger players. And Maisha Hines-Allen did a really good job. Look, I don't think any player on the Fever team, they're running back on defense, saw this. I think if any player on the floor saw this, they're going right in, especially if it's Sophie, to a lesser extent Lexi, and obviously MHA is getting involved in this. If this is seen, and you better believe somebody's taking Alyssa Thomas out the next time these two teams play. Like, but when the referees see all this, and you've got a coach that very much alludes to the fact that they're going to use this for motivation, and said coach's star player all of a sudden goes and commits an egregious cheap shot. Is this the worst cheap shot we've seen in WNBA history? No. Is it the worst cheap shot Alyssa Thomas has done in the last 12 months? No. Is this as bad as Alyssa Thomas chokeslamming Angel Reese? Probably not. But the difference is that most of them are called. The problem is this is a no call. This is a no call. That's all I'm going to say. The problem is that this was just a no call. Nobody called anything. And that's why this is going to be so much worse. If the referees just chuck Alyssa Thomas for this in the game, it's bad. Like, we can be very clear. Like, the whole situation is bad if the referees chuck Alyssa Thomas. But if it turns out that instead of chucking Alyssa Thomas, the referees, it's a no call, and also it's amplified by the fact that Caitlin Clark got injured in this game. This whole thing is amplified. And then you're looking at Caitlin Clark getting hit with the landing zone foul, getting hit by Lexi Hell with a 3. Like, they clearly went out fired. They went out fired up, the Phoenix Mercury. They went out completely fired up. And look, sometimes you get 2 up for a game and this shit happens. And when your coach is essentially alluding to the team being extra up for a game for a reason, yeah, it's a bad look. Definitely a bad look on Tibbetts.